Okay, so crazy story, you guys. So today I was not planning on doing a reading. Today has been like just doing like housework basically. Yesterday I had to do a lot of errands, so I was out all day. I was on the road, and as I was making the bed because I did the laundry and changed the bedding, I got this reading. I got all this energy and this information that I was told, like, you need to share this. This is going to be reading. And I was like, okay, great. So here I am sitting down now. In amongst all of my errands, I also didn't drink water. Excuse me, hold on. I did not drink anything before I started this, and this is going to be a little bit of talking, so hold on. Okay, sorry. But I was told, sit down. I basically got told this reading. So no cards initially. I might fiddle with them. But this reading is the bedroom reading. Guys, I was in the bedroom changing sheets when I got it. So I was told specifically that this is for a collective who you have a very unique intuitive ability and skill set. And you have this ability to intuitively read residual energy in a space. And it's not just reading vaguely. This collective has it's a very powerful ability where you can tear apart an entire conversation and you can almost recite it verbatim. Right? You can walk into a room, you can sit in a chair, and you can go, oh, I know who was sitting here, and they talked about this, and they talked this smack, and they said this, and they said this about me, and they were doing this. Okay. What I'm getting for this collective, first off, is this is validation of your intuition, because I'm one of these people, by the way. I have this ability to some extent, and one of the things you have this ability is I don't actually meet a lot of other people who have this ability. So I found it very interesting that Spirit was saying that this particular intuitive ability, you meet a lot of readers, tarot readers, oracle readers, psychic readers, mediumship, okay, but you don't meet a lot of what I call land energy readers. Okay, and this collective has that ability to some extent. You're able to read the land. You're able to read the residual energy that is left on the land. You're able to then walk in and all the ish, right? This collective might have been accused of, gaslighting, making things up. You might have been accused of eavesdropping on people's conversations. You might have been accused of all of these different things by other people who either don't believe or don't understand your intuition. I'm being corrected, actually. It's not that they don't understand, it's that they don't believe, right? They think, you probably have been told that you're, there's so much gaslighting. The worst part is that I'm getting that a lot of this is from family. A lot of this is some of this is from coworkers for some of you. Some of this is also from friends, but a lot of this is like family members, parents, siblings maybe, who are doing this. A lot of this gaslighting type energy that's coming through with this collective here. This is your validation. First off, this is a huge validation in your intuition and your intuitive abilities. That yes, you're intuitive. No, you're not just making it up. No, you're not being paranoid. Yes, this is a thing, right? This is your validation in that. Okay, so if you've been told that you're just making stuff up and you're disconnected from reality and you just don't like this person and you're, being paranoid, understand that that's not the case. Okay, understand that that's not the case. Okay, this collective, you have a very unique intuitive gift. 1, 2, these people that are talking shit, they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed that you can read them like a book. They're embarrassed that you can know all their conversations without having been there. They're embarrassed that they've said things about you and now you know it There's this belief that a lot of people have where, oh, I can talk all the shit I want, or I can say whatever I want, or I can disagree with whatever I want. And there's essentially this feeling of like, there's no consequences for it now, especially nowadays. There's no consequences, or this person's not going to find out, but you do find out. This collective, you do find out. You do know. You know what everyone is saying. You go, you give someone a hug, you shake someone's hand, and you know the conversations that they've had before you even have had the conversation, before you've even sat down, before you've even done the what are they showing me? There's a phrase that I'm trying to think of right now. It's like done the lip service, is that the phrase? Done the lip service? That you already know that you're not going to get the job when you shake the interviewer's hand. You already know, right? Because you know that they've already kind of made a judgment, and it's only because HR told them to go interview you that you're doing that interview, right? That's very specific for someone. I haven't done an interview in ages. It's very, very specific for someone. There's this, some of you might have also been dealing with illness, especially heart palpitations, anxiety, or something with the throat. Like sore throats or allergies, even like in the face and the hand. A lot of you have been dealing in this collective with that as well. Okay. There's definitely this energy of, understanding that this is a unique ability and fostering it, utilizing it as such, right? Not everyone has the ability, not even most psychics that I meet have the ability to go and to sit down and to be able to recite the conversation that was just had with the person that's sitting in chair A, and they were positioned like this, and they were talking to someone in chair C over there, and they talked about how they felt that you were not legitimate. Yeah, I'm sorry that there's family members who've been saying this about you. That sucks. That sucks. Some of these people also, I'm sure many of you are aware, but I'm being told to voice this as well. They're not spiritual people. So it doesn't matter. You could not be intuitive, whatever that means, really. And you could just say something very generic like, oh, everything is energy, and they're just going to say no. They're going to say no because it's coming out of your mouth. They're going to say no because they don't believe in quantum physics. They think that you're hippie. I'm hearing the term hippy dippy. That's like might have been a term that might have been used by towards you in a more not nice way, right? Like, oh, you're just hippy dippy, your hippy dippy stuff, or your hippy dippy herbs, or your hippy dippy belief system, like really belittling your spirituality, belittling your beliefs, belittling what you do and what you believe in. This collective has dealt with a lot of that, okay? This collective has dealt with a lot of that type of crap, that type of nonsense, that type of whatever. I don't even know what to call it. That belittling, moving down, all that, okay? This collective has dealt with a lot of that, right? There's a massive message here of continue to use your voice. Doesn't matter if others don't like it, continue to use your voice. Right? Continue to say what needs to be said. Thick skin is also what I'm getting with this collective. Okay? Most of you have a thick skin. Some of you might need to thicken that skin up a little bit more. Okay? You need to work a little bit. For some of you, need to work on these people-pleasing skills and these people-pleasing tendencies that you might hold. Okay? That might be something that's going to be, relevant to some extent with this collective. So There's the shuffling error. Hold on. Let me reset. Some of you are going to be traveling as well. Some of you have been traveling, and that's been part of the reason that you've been also talked a lot about. Some of you also have been speaking up a little bit more. And there's a number of people who can't deal with a difference of opinion. Okay. But what they don't get is that a lot of what you're saying isn't even really opinion. It's your intuition. Okay. It's your intuition that's coming to light here. All right. Yeah. Interesting. We have the Five of Swords reversed. We have Temperance reversed. And we've had the King of Swords reversed. Back to back to back reversals, all dealing with a lot of air energy. Temperance also actually deals more with water energy. A lot of psychic attacks. This collective has also dealt with psychic attacks. Okay. What's funny though is at the end you got the Justice card that's coming up. Justice is being served. People are getting their karmic debts. Okay, because your spirit team they're not fucking around. The spirit team is not here to be like, oh, just put up with it. It's okay. It's all nice. It's all frilly. It's all, love and light. I cannot stand the whole like love and light rhetoric. It drives me absolutely bananas. As I'm sure many of you know by now. But there's definitely this feeling of judgment with this Judgment card. Did I say Justice, by the way? It's the Judgment card. What does Judgment card mean of? Like karmic judgment. That's why I was saying karmic judgment. It's interesting that I said Justice. I meant judgment. That's a little weird. Okay, with this Judgment card coming up, they're getting their karmic judgment, right? All these people here, I'm hearing that they disturbed your peace. They disturbed your peace, and there's consequences for that. There's consequences with this collective for disturbing your peace, because when they disturbed your peace, they also disturbed your development. They also disturbed your intuition. They also disturbed your ability to heal yourself and in turn help to heal others. And there's consequences. I'm hearing there's consequences for that. Right? And there's people that are about to find out pretty darn quick. There's people that are about to find out pretty darn quick. I'm hearing losses are going to come through, right? Loss of money for some people, right? Chariot. And the 6, what is this? 6 of Cups reversed. And the Chariot. Yeah, this collective, you've been gaslit a lot. Okay, some of you have had these abilities since you were kids. With the 6 of Cups coming up, some of you have had this since you were, hearing specifically 13, like teenagers, pre-teens. Okay. There's a sense of moving forward, right? Because we have the Chariot card coming up and it's in the upright. This is always dealing with movement, decisions. But what I'm really getting with this pair here, like this, is moving in the direction of healing these wounds, like stepping into, there's another reading I did that was about stepping into your empowered state that this collective might have resonated with as well, right? Stepping into your intuition and your intuitive abilities also is like really coming through here, right? Stepping into your intuition, into these abilities. Yeah. Some of you are gonna be on TV. Something about a TV show or a YouTube channel that's like episode based, something about episodes, and you're going to be like going into spaces and reading the energy this collective is. Yeah, that's a fast way. There's going to be a lot of jealousy. This collective you're having a lot of success coming, especially if you do some sort of spiritual business or healing business, holistic healing, nutritional healing. There's something that this collective is bringing in that is really going to be I'm not sure how they want me to word this. It's really going to cause rifts. That's the word I'm looking for. It's going to cause rifts in a lot of these relationships, okay, that are already not that stable to start off with, because of how you're getting the success from doing nothing, okay, and they feel like they have to work their asses off. Whether they are or not in actuality is irrelevant. There's a feeling that they have to work their asses off, but you're just here and you're just like, whatever. Now the Ace of Cups reversed, Queen of Swords upright. Yeah, right. With the Ace of Cups, there's emotional. I'm really getting emotional immaturity with someone who's cutting through the bullshit. I really like the Queen of Swords card, maybe because, I don't know, the Queen of Swords just reminds me of me, right? Because the Queen of Swords is someone, right? She cuts through everything. She's there, and you know, there's an English saying, like, I could like slice it with a butter knife, I think is the type. Like, she just cuts through everything, right? There's no Mickey Mouse with the Queen of Swords present. Okay, but there's this energy, and this is probably a lot of you guys' energy, because you guys have been through the ish. You've been through the ringer a time or two, and now this collective, you don't like being misunderstood. You don't like being told who you are. You don't like being told about your intuition, and you're sick of the drama. And there's a lot of this like kind of drama energy that's like slowly dissipating away, because you've got these people who are emotionally immature. You've got these people who they're not dealing with their childhood wounds. They're not dealing with their childhood emotions, and they're just creating, interesting. The need to, excuse me, let me just get some tea. Trying to silence you, trying to silence me, trying to silence this reading. That might be it. But it's trying to silence your voice, right? Trying to get you to not speak. Trying to make sure that there's blockages that, you know, remember that physical attacks are also spiritual attacks. Okay, physical attacks are also attacks on one's, there is a psychic attacks, they're energetic attacks too. Okay, because everything's a reflection. Most things are a reflection, right? So everything is a reflection in terms of the energy that you see in the physical is reflected to some extent in the spiritual. So this occurs on obviously grand scales, world events, for example. This also occurs on individual levels. And this is why you can have two people in the same, you can have two siblings in the same family, and they could have been brought up together and they have completely different experiences, right? And a large part of it is because of the energy that each of them had, right? Because you can have two people in the same household, they're living completely different realities, all based on their individual energy and their personal timelines and how those timelines are interacting with the greater timelines. Greater timelines being on kind of a familial level, relationship level, familial level, work, career, exterior relationship level, and then eventually you work your way up until we're talking about like in a world level. So there's definitely this sense with this collective of, you're done. Like, you've had enough, okay? These people need to get their karmic judgments, okay? Justice is coming to them. Enough's enough. You've had enough. Well, forget it. We're over it. We're done. You know, it's time. There's this feeling of like it's time to move on. You know, like this collective, you've had enough. You know, and your attitude is like, I'm gonna keep saying what I want to say. All right. But like enough's enough. You know, enough with the drama, enough with the immaturity, enough with the dwelling, going on and on and on. Projections is also coming through this collective. A lot of you might have projections that are being placed on you from other people, right? Projections towards self, projections about your abilities or your intuition or what it is you're doing. There's projections that others are putting onto you, and you're just like, I'm done. Right, this collective, you've really, really, really had it. Really, really had it. We've got death coming up. The Knight of Swords. Hangman in reverse. And also the Two of Swords in reverse, which I love the Two of Swords in reverse. I think that is an amazing card to be in reverse, because when we have the Two of Swords in reverse, we're talking about, you know, you're taking back your power. You're being yourself. You're honoring your authenticity. You're honoring yourself. You're honoring what it is that you do. And the Two of Swords that's being reversed, you know, you're not falling anymore for the deception, the lies, the deceit. That's done with. That's done with, you know. Right? Death card, right? People you're transforming. You've moved forward, right? What I find really interesting is we've got this combination here, and why I find this interesting is because you have this battle that's occurring, right? If you look at the death card, right, this gentleman, death, okay, is just trying to be on his horse and to go away. Right? He's not in a rush. He's not doing anything. He's just walking. Okay, yeah. Here I am going through, you know, walking away. And then the opposition force that's coming is the Knight of Swords. This is the energy, right? There's someone that's there holding the sword, trying to come, trying to attack me while you're just walking here, minding your own beeswax, being like, yeah, whatever. No weapon in hand. Right? And then you're coming and there's people that are coming at you, right? And I feel like this is a really good like visual representation of this energy that's been going on, of here's you just trying to do your own thing, trying to move things forward, trying to work on your own, you know, projects, your own business processes, whatever it is. Okay, some of you might even be in school right now, okay, going into school for, or like in like post-secondary or some sort of additional like diploma or degree or something of that nature. And then there's this energy that's just coming, that's swords raised, you know, coming at you very forcefully against you, right? Against you. And I think this is also why you've got the Hangman that's reversed, because it's at a place where you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, I'm just minding my own business, just trotting along here, doing whatever. And then you're in this state where you're like, okay, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do anymore. Like, no matter what you do, it's almost this feeling of this collective of it doesn't matter what you do, it's not good enough. It doesn't matter what you do, you're pissing these people off. You know, you do all the right things, you say all the right things, you're doing, oh, I'm pissing them off. You speak your mind, you're pissing them off. You stay silent, you're pissing them off because you're not saying anything. Right? There's this constant feeling of, you know, and people not understanding the difference between intuition and opinion. I think that's really important. And I think this collective I feel like this collective has even tried to explain that, no, this isn't really my belief, but this is just, you know, what I'm seeing or what I'm feeling. And the people that you're dealing with are like, no. Nope. That's not how we're going to do it. That's not how we're going to do it. So, yeah, you're kind of, this collective is really getting this feeling of like, we're done. Yeah. And some final cards just to finish this reading off. I'm kind of getting the vibe that the reading's done. I haven't explicitly stated the reading's done, but it feels like that energy where the main message that this collective needed to hear has been said. Look, this collective, you need to understand that there's always going to be people who are going to be dissatisfied in whatever it is that you're doing. Because there's always going to be people who are not as developed, who are less understanding, who do not have the level of emotional intelligence that you have, and are not doing the things that you have either. This is beautiful. I love this ending. The 10 of Wands reversed, and we've got the High Priestess. This is gorgeous, okay? And this, I feel like, also sums up this whole energy that I was getting in this reading. Let go of what's not yours. You're dropping it. You've had enough. You know, this transition out of this reverse two of, which again, I love this energy, this reverse Two of Swords. This transition out of this, part of the revelation that's coming from this reverse Two of Swords is, okay, I'm dropping all of this shit that's not mine. All of this crap, everything that I've been trying to manage, that I'm trying to control, that's not really mine to control, that I'm apparently doing a terrible job anyways, I'm dropping it. And I'm going to trust my intuition. I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm going to do my intuitive thing. And you can like it or you cannot. The High Priestess is such like a powerful card. You know, it's a very early card. It's a young rendition of, you know, the Empress. But it's such a powerful card. Such a deep understanding. A spiritual wisdom that comes with the High Priestess. Of learning. Of wanting to learn. Right? Of wanting to study, of wanting to do more. That's coming through here with the High Priestess. Right? And yeah, people aren't going to like it. That's fine. People aren't here to like everything, but letting go of, you know, people's expectations of you, letting go of people's perceptions of you, letting go of people's opinions of you. I think April 2, probably when this is posted, it'll be either the end of April, maybe early May, but I feel like the month of April with this collective, there's going to be massive transformations in your thought process, the way that you communicate with people or don't communicate with people, who you communicate with, who you don't communicate with. There's going to be massive transitions in these areas with this collective. And there's really this feeling of, you know, like really just this letting go. Like, I'm done. We're done. We're done with this, you know, we're done with this psychic blocks and these mental blocks, and I've had enough. I'm over it. Done. It is what it is, whatever. Had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. Dropping it all, you know, walking in, right? Because keep in mind, when this card's upright, right? There's nothing stopping her from putting her swords down and taking her blindfold off except her own mental state. When it's reversed, she's surpassed that mental state. She's put the swords down. She's taken the blindfold off. She can get up from the chair and do whatever the hell she wants. Right? Releasing of people's expectations so that you can start stepping into your full self, so that you can start stepping into this full energy that this collective has. That's it. I was gonna cut the deck, and it's really interesting because when I cut the deck, it was blanks on both sides, so there's no more messages. That's it. Done. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Impromptu reading. Hopefully it resonated with you. Hopefully it validated for some of you. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. All the others can think you're crazy, but you're not crazy. I wish you all the best, and until next time. Oh, like, comment, subscribe. One of these days I'm going to get this ending down. Like, comment, subscribe. I think that's all. Till next time, everyone. Bye.